Deep breath in, deep breath out. I made a mistake on this week's sketch. I came into this being on a high from like last week's video where I just, completed the self-portrait and I was very impressed with what I was capable of doing. Because of that, I think I got a little over cocky and I kind of jumped the gun. I actually sat down and used an application that I have on my phone to kind of outline what I wanted to draw before I jumped into the sketchbook to actually draw it. Guys, I can't even express how excited I was to actually put this in the sketchbook. But things didn't go as planned. Everything was turning out the way that I wanted it to, which was fantastic, but I did run into a massive hiccup when it came down to deciding to ink the piece as well with the line work. Okay, you can actually see where I messed up, and it started to bleed in like other places. I thought I could save it, but at this point I'm just gonna kind of let it rest. It gets overly hot in my office, and along with messing up the piece, I definitely got frustrated with it and had to take a moment just to go for a walk and clear my head. Because of that, I actually came up with a new idea that interested me a little bit more, and I stepped away from the original design. When I got back, I wanted to put it down as quick as possible and started to draw it before I actually ended up realizing that I wasn't recording. So there is a little bit of a piece missing when it comes to the star. I continued on with my sketch work as it goes. It's a sketchbook. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to learn from those mistakes. I had used a new pen and didn't realize that it takes the ink a little bit extra to dry, and that's a mistake that I've learned. And next time that I use the product, I'm going to, be aware of that and make sure that it's on a cooler day where I'm not sweating buckets and can smudge the ink a little bit more than what it should be. I actually find this comical because normally I'm a person that loves the heat. I would rather be cooking under the sun, ready to be flipped like an egg off of cement, than be cold. But when it messes with my art supplies and how my art turns out, war would be had, good sir. War. Like, come on, man. That took me a long time to draw, as it was. And then I had to draw it again. Ugh. This is why you walk away sometimes. It is best for you, and it is best for your artwork. And was the piece bad? No, not at all. And the ink smudging wasn't all that bad either. There is a time, though, that you need to walk away before you do more damage than good. This was one of those cases. I might actually go back and paint over it with maybe some gouache or possibly even like acrylics. I don't know. At this point, I had made the ultimate decision to begin again. And I'm not mad. To be honest with you, the idea that I came up with, I like it better. So it kind of works, and I was more into completing this piece than I was the last. And you can actually tell by the line work and the sketch work that I did in it. Happy little accident. One thing that I did want to keep from the original piece is I really like the idea of the stump. So I wanted to make sure that I kept that. Especially with the blender that I just did, this would have been perfect for the sketch. I was putting so much into this one sketch, and I wanted to make it into an art piece and make it a good one for this week's video, that I put too much pressure on myself. I forgot that this is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like a new adventure, meeting new people in the art community, creating videos, sharing my art, challenging myself, challenging others. I think the stump is a great representation of that, and the star, the representation of dreams and hope. Every video, every sketch, every doodle, every time I practice something new, it's all to get that ultimate goal, to be better and do better and learn new things. I want to be a sponge for all of the knowledge. If you race to the finish line, you forget to enjoy the path as you go. This isn't a fast journey, it's a long journey, little by little. And if you don't, and you choose to race to the finish line, you're gonna burn yourself out. And that's where the chains come in, because then you just get stuck. You don't really get to experience everything that you're trying to learn. Sorry for the ramble. It's more of a footnote for myself than anything. I'm not trying to lecture. It's crazy how like some things in artwork, like you have a lot of symbolization that comes through in your pieces. Like I accidentally like drew this kind of thing. It was just like one of those things that I was listening to my music as I was walking along, and of course the music got to me, the violin, the orchestra, and this is the image that came to my mind. So when I got home, I had to draw it. But like if you actually sit there and you think about like everything in the challenges, and then it just lines up so perfectly, and it's amazing how your brain can do that. More happy little accidents. You know what else I really want to know? Some artists can take pictures of their pencil drawings and post it on Instagram, and it literally looks like identical to exactly what they've drawn. But anytime that I take pictures of any of my pencil drawings, for some reason it changes. Either like areas that are blended to my eye suddenly become like overly sharpened and focused, or areas turn out to be like more blurry. I've Googled it. I have tried looking up TikTok reviews and tutorials on YouTube to see how you can actually like change the settings and mess with like the contrast in order to make it look as good as it does in real life. But I have not mastered that yet. And I wish that some of my pencil drawings would come through as clean as I know that they actually are. Tried Photoshop, Lightroom, you name it, all of the fun applications. If you know the life hack, please share your secrets with me. I need to know. This part was super fun. So inside, because I wanted to draw a split down in the stump, but instead I actually put a book inside of the stump. So the tree is also a fairy tale. Later on, if I do end up redrawing this, I think I might actually redraw this into a painting. I don't know yet. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. It might be a side project that I do, but I'm going to really like define the book area to bring it out, and I want to make it so it like the pages are a little bit more open. You can see a little bit more than just the ONE for the Once Upon a Time. Again, this is a sketchbook. This is a rough idea. Super fun to draw. Meh. Sorry, lost in thought there for a moment. If I were to draw this again, I would definitely make the split open a little bit more, so that way I could, space out the sections a little bit more evenly, and probably put more slits further around the stump just to make it more realistic. Woulda, coulda, didn't. Redraw round 2. Maybe. We'll see. Future Simone problem. Some of these pieces, realism isn't really my goal. It's just like more of a cartoony feel to it, but it adds that je ne sais quoi for me, to add that fairy tale make-believe vibe to it. I'm an adult and I love me my cartoons. So I want to get back into using gouache paints, and something that I've never done before, which I find shocking and surprising because a lot of my friends are into the anime style, but I have never watched any of the Studio Ghibli pieces. Don't come for me in the comments. But with that being said, I've started to watch a lot of their pieces because of the artwork that is done in gouache. And I've even taken a moment to like pause the videos to go and see it. Ooh, flashback surprise. In this piece, I was drawing some leaves and I was having problems coming up with the shapes of it. And I remember I was practicing some watercolor a while ago, back in 2020. If you saw that closely when I was flipping through some of my pages, there was a couple of leaves in the shapes that I really liked in them. So I actually ended up pulling out one of my old sketchbooks to use as reference while I put in some line work for the leaves on this piece. Sorry for that squirrel moment, and we're back with our regular scheduled program. So yeah, I've been watching the Studio Ghibli movies, TV shows. I don't know. I'm going through each of them one by one, and just taking like pausing some of the parts where I find the artwork is absolutely stunning, and just taking a note of like how the gouache is laid down. But I'm thinking later on I do want to get back into gouache because I've only done a couple of pieces in gouache, and it can be quite finicky. But I do really like how it lays and how water can reactivate it. So it's something that I do want to play with in the future. But in the meantime, I've been doing a little bit of research and playing with gouache again and reactivation my Himi gouaches, because they were some crispy paints, I will say. I'm happy that they can be reactivated with water. I've entered into the realm of getting paint all over my clothing once more, which I have forgotten was one of the reasons why I stopped painting in the first place. I need like painting clothes. I'm gonna do a little bit more research over the next little bit just to refine my skills before I make any kind of finalized art pieces. But that is something for a later time. Right now, like I'm still doing like a full-time job while I'm doing this. So I still can't get to art as much as I want or I hope to. You gotta keep trekking. It's not something that you're gonna put down, so I can post when I can post and I can edit when I can edit, but I'm not looking to burn myself out anytime soon. So you might have noticed in the center of the star, I actually ended up putting numbers 1 through 5 on them. The reason why is because the star, how I had it drawn, it was like I wanted it to like open up, and I don't know if I'm going to put black in the middle or if I'm going to put like that's where the light is radiating from. But the way that I had drawn it reminded me of like the little fortune cookie things that we used to make as a kid. I know that it's like 4-sided, but yeah, I made it 5-sided. My sketchbook, I can do what I want. You can get your own sketchbook. Anywho. So, but it just reminded me of it. So I just kind of had to put it in because I kept seeing it. So eventually I just ended up drawing it. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the video very soon. I really appreciate if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and yeah, come back for new adventures next time. But other than that, thank you guys for coming in, stopping by. I'll leave you with these parting words and advice is not every new material that you try will turn out the way that you want it to. Don't stress yourself out. Put it down. Take a moment. Walk away. Take a breather and come back to it later. This is all about experiments and trying new things. Don't burn yourself out over it. Don't be too hard on yourself when it doesn't work out. This is a very long journey that we're on together. So just keep doing you, slow and steady as she goes. I'ma let you be free now. Don't forget to subscribe. Go touch paint.